tonight. Jamaica recorded 63 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, taking confirmed cases to 14,550, while the death toll remains at 331. President of the JHTA, Clifton Reader, says several local hotels are prepared to cover the costs of COVID-19 vaccines for their staff. Still tonight, President of the JTA, Jasford Gabriel, expresses concerns with the cut in the education budget.
Approximately $1.6 billion cut in the education budget for this fiscal year. This is the highest of all cuts, a confirmation that education is not a priority item in this country.
And following the seizure of an AK-47 assault rifle and 15 7.62 rounds during operations in Almond Town, Kingston today, Councillor Charmaine Daniels is making a call for the Zone of Special Operations, ZOSO.
I am supporting the ZOSO because I strongly believe in community policing, and the people feel secure, feel safe whenever the police presence are in the community.
Good evening. Jamaica recorded 63 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, taking the total of cases on the island now to 14,550, while the death toll remains at 331. Now, of the newly recorded cases, 24 are males and 39 are females, ranging in age from 1 to 100 years. Regarding recorded cases, St. Catherine recorded 14 cases, St. James recorded 13 cases, Manchester 10, Kingston and St. Andrew 9 cases, St. Elizabeth recorded 6 cases, while Clarendon recorded 4, Trelawney recorded 3, St. Mary 2, while Westmoreland and St. Thomas recorded 1 case each. 32 recoveries were recorded, taking the total of recoveries now to 11,809. President of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, Clifton Reader, says several local hotels are prepared to cover the cost of COVID-19 vaccinations for their members of staff. Reader said, quote, "We have a growing list of members committed to partnering with the government in the drive to get as many persons vaccinated as possible. We are, of course, particularly focused on the thousands of team members in the hospitality and tourism industry, many of whom are breadwinners for their families and the pillars of their communities," end quote. However, Reader stressed that it will not be mandatory for staff members to be vaccinated. He says the JHTA wants to ease the financial burden on the government that has promised free vaccinations to all citizens. In other news tonight, Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Favour Williams, reported that the government is moving to improve the monitoring of projects through the implementation of a web-enabled public investment information system. The Education Minister, who was speaking during a post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House yesterday, said Cabinet has given approval for the award of a US $997,608,069 contract to Cambridge Resources International Incorporated for the design, supply, and installation of the system. She says the system will serve as a repository of information on all public investment projects across the central government, public bodies, and public and private partnerships at the various stages of the project cycle, inclusive of concept, feasibility, approval, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. Meanwhile, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, Jasford Gabriel, expressed concerns with a cut in the education budgets.
The Jamaica Teachers Association is extremely concerned about the approximately $1.6 billion cut in the education budget for this fiscal year. This is the highest of all cuts, a confirmation that education is not a priority item in this country. This unfortunate development will obviously have serious implications for our overall development as a nation. Shouldn't the education sector in a time of crisis be one of the priority areas to be stimulated for short, medium, and long-term economic gains? This cut also comes against the background of increased allocation for at least 4 other government sectors at a time when almost 90% of our public schools remain closed for face-to-face instruction since March 2021, obviously resulting in reduced operational expenses in some areas for the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. As at today, several schools are still not in a position to be reopened due to lack of financial resources to set up a proper isolation unit to support the safety and wellness of students and staff. Let's not forget the words of Nelson Mandela: education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world.
He pointed out that while the closure of schools has resulted in reduced operational expenses in some areas of the education industry, there are several schools not in a position to reopen due to the lack of financial resources. Still making the news tonight, swift action by the St. Catherine South Police resulted in 2 would-be killers being fatally shot during a confrontation with the police on Caymanas Drive in the parish yesterday. The police further reported that 2 illegal firearms were seized during the incident. Reports coming into our news center tonight are that at approximately 1:30 p.m., the police acted upon information received that a group of men were on their way to commit a murder and intercepted a silver Nissan Wing Road motor car with 3 men on board. The men were signaled to stop, but instead of stopping, they opened fire at the police. The gunfire was returned, and during the exchange, 2 of the armed men were shot and killed, while the 3rd man escaped in the area on foot. In news from the capital coming into our news center tonight, the police seized an AK-47 rifle and 15 7.62 rounds during a search operation on Prince of Wales Street in Almond Town at approximately 1 p.m. today. Now, following the find, Councillor for the Almond Town Division, Charmaine Daniels, said the area needs the Zone of Special Operations ZOSO as persons feel safer with the police presence.
I am supporting the ZOSO because I strongly believe in community policing, and the people feel secure, feel safe whenever the police presence are in the community. For the past year, Central Kingston residents are in fear of gang violence and other matters associated with crime and violence. Some even started to move out of the community because of fear. I strongly believe that if a ZOSO should come into Central Kingston, more so Almond Town proper and the Midtown proper in Central Kingston, which is between Spoilers and Midtown, that is Beeston Street, that borders both division, the resident will feel more safer to go about their usual business.
Councillor Daniels is also encouraging residents of the entire Central Kingston community to work with the security forces in an effort to bring order and peace to the communities.
I am also calling on the residents of Central Kingston to work and partner with the police in order to create a healthy lifestyle in the various communities of Central Kingston. Those who are law-abiding citizens, rise up. Church, rise up. We need to take back our community. Faith over fear. Let us take back our community together. Together we can do it. Let's take back Central Kingston from the hands of the gangs.
Continuing with the news tonight, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, is advising that following discussions with the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, the Minister of National Security, and the municipal corporations responsible for the quays, a decision has been taken to order the closure of all quays with immediate effect commencing yesterday, January 19 to February 1, 2021. Now, the order excludes the Morant and Pedro Keys that fall under the Morant and Pedro Keys Act of 1971. ODPEM is informing the public that activities at these locations are not allowed in the effort to reduce the risk of spreading the coronavirus SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19 virus in the country. The JDF Coast Guard and the JCF Marine Police will continue to rigorously monitor the Keys and all other locations to enforce the laws and ensure that the public is conforming to the established protocols. In addition, ODPEM is reminding the general public to adhere to the protocols under the Disaster Risk Management Enforcement Act, Order 2021. And those are some of the stories making news tonight. We will return with more stories, but now we'll take a break and then go to Christopher Scott with sports.